Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Wildlife podcast. I am your host, Courtney, and I know I mention this every episode, but I'm going to do it again. Thank you so much to all of you that either listened to last week's episode on koalas or interacted with either myself or the podcast. I am truly forever grateful. Please know that you do not go unnoticed, and I love interacting with you guys and responding to messages or comments. So thank you so much for all of your support. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive straight into today's wildlife. We are discussing the world's most venomous fish, the stonefish. Now, here in Australia, we have two species of ocean stonefish, our reef and our estuary. Now, a good physical trait to help decipher which is their eye placement. In our estuary stonefish, their eyes are a lot more elevated and are separated by a bony ridge, whereas in our reef stonefish, their eyes are separated by quite a deep depression. Now, the reef stonefish is notoriously known worldwide as being the world's most venomous fish. They can potentially kill an adult human within just a few hours of being stung. The stonefish resides in our coastal waters of Australia, and they reside in the northern half. So this spans from Queensland all the way up to far north Queensland, west into the Northern Territory, WA, and of course down the Western Australia coastline. Now, something truly remarkable about stonefish is they can actually survive 24 hours outside of water. They do this by absorbing oxygen into their skin, and this ensures a high chance of survival when the tides are quite low. The stonefish have extremely great camouflage, and this is to help blend into their environment, whether our reefs, so coral reefs, or rocky areas. This camouflage is also used for capturing prey, and they will sit and wait for their prey. In the animal kingdom, this is what is known as an ambush predator. We have quite a few ambush predators around the globe. In Australia, to name a few, would it be our crocodiles, our death adders, and of course the stonefish. Now, what this means is the animal will sit and wait motionless and wait for their prey to come to them, and then they will strike. Ambush predators are the majority of the time extremely fast. And that is the case with the stonefish. They have a lightning fast reflex, which ensures they capture their prey, and that way they will have a high success rate when they do hunt. They have such large mouths, which open quite widely, and of course powerful jaws, which ensure they are capturing their prey, which mostly consists of fish and a wide range of crustaceans. To help blend into their environment, they come in a range of colors, from green to a dark brown, and of course they have those stone-like appendages over their skin to help blend in as well. Now, what I personally think is the most striking feature of the stonefish, and the most haunting in a sense, are those 13 venomous spines that run down their dorsal fin. Now, at the base of these spines are venom sacs, and when put under pressure, these venom sacs will inject their victim or predators with a highly toxic substance. This venom is not used to capture their prey. It is a defense mechanism. So it is used when they feel threatened or when there are potential predators such as sharks and rays. Now, the majority of the time, humans are typically stung on accident when they are exploring, they are roaming our reef flats and rocky areas in our ocean shores. Fortunately, though, for us Australians, there have been no recorded deaths in Australia since the European settlement. This is highly due to an antivenom that has been available since the 1950s. But in saying this, a sting from a stonefish will leave you in excruciating pain. It can cause potential paralysis, convulsions, cardiac arrest. So seeking immediate medical attention is strongly advised. I do want to mention, this isn't to frighten people out of our waters. Australia has some of the cleanest, clearest, most beautiful rivers, creeks, oceans in the world. This is to inform people about the dangers, about putting yourself in an environment where there could be potential danger. But it's also to learn all about the remarkable and unique animals that do live right off our ocean shores. It is absolutely dire to remain aware of our surroundings in new environments or even in environments that we've explored before. And in saying this is exactly what the stonefish is doing. When they do sting a human, they are not doing it on purpose. They are protecting themselves from potential threats or dangers. And this is exactly what a human would do, put into the same situation. When we feel threatened, we would defend ourselves. So that is exactly what our stonefish is doing. They are not actually out to get humans. Alongside our ocean stonefish, here in Australia, we actually have a species of freshwater stonefish. These are called bull rout. Now, our bull rout inhabits creeks and freshwater streams, and just like our ocean stonefish, they should be avoided at all costs. Their dorsal, anal, and pelvic spines all contain venom glands. Now, about a year ago, my boyfriend and I took a trip, one of many trips, up to North Queensland, and I do believe this trip was to track down wild cassowaries. We were unsuccessful, but we still had a lot of fun, and we encountered a lot of other wildlife up there. But we found a really cute and relaxing creek in the middle of a forest. Now, the water was only about 30 centimeters deep, maybe 40, 50, and it was crystal clear. You could see all the way down to the bottom, but it was extremely rocky. Now, I know what inhabits the ecosystem and environment up in North Queensland, and I've been fortunate enough to encounter a lot of the wildlife. So I had a feeling that the inhabitants of this creek would include a variety of animals from freshwater crocodiles to bull rout. So on the way out, because on the way in, I didn't notice any signs. So on the way out, I checked for signs, knowing that if you have been to North Queensland, or if you live there, if you're planning to travel there, you will notice there are a ton of signs about crocodiles. They are so important to notice and to read. And I think this is one of the biggest takes from this trip, is that I didn't notice the sign. On the way out of the forest, I did. And there, in writing on the sign, said, "Danger. The inhabitants of this creek include bull rout." Now, to stumble upon bull rout or a stonefish in general, even wildlife, it's not very likely. And I know on all of my adventures, especially up in far North Queensland, to encounter wildlife, you really have to look. There are wildlife that would take weeks to find, like our green python all the way up in the top part of Queensland. This could take anywhere from 2 days, if you're lucky, to 2 months to find. So it's not very common to come across wildlife. And for me to have encountered bull rout and potentially stepped on one. It's not very likely, but the chance is still there. So that's why it is so important to read signs, silly me, to read signs, to research the environment that you're going into, whether it is an environment you are familiar with or a brand new environment that you are exploring. It is so incredibly important to know what inhabits the land or the water, the ocean, the creek, to ensure you stay safe. Now, please remember, if you are encountering wildlife, please be respectful, give them their room, and 9 out of 10 times, the animal will be more scared of you than you are of it, and it will run away, swim away, climb away, and just do its own little thing. But this just proves how important it is to be aware and stay alert of your surroundings. Now, bull rout, just like our reef stonefish, have powerful jaws, and our bull rout have that protruding lower jaw. They come in a range of color from pale yellow to brown to help blend into their environment, and they have a scaly body, but their head lacks scales. Now, what I think is the most important information to have, to gain when it comes to wildlife is first aid. Obviously, first aid differs from animal to animal and environment to environment. But with our stonefish, first and foremost, you must call for medical assistance. That is the most important thing to do. If you or someone else you are with, or you see someone step on a stonefish, is to call for an ambulance. Now, if you are stung on a limb, you may use hot water to help relieve some of that pain for up to 20 minutes after being stung. Please do not ever apply a pressure bandage to the wound. Now, there are a few things we can be doing to help prevent being stung by our stonefish. Wearing suitable water shoes when exploring our reefs and rocky areas is a really great tip to ensure your feet are safe and you stay safe. Also, kind of stirring up the sand while you walk is a great tip. This can scare away stonefish and also any other potential dangers that are there which you cannot see, such as our stingrays. Now, it is just overall important to be staying alert when you are in our oceans, in our creeks. Now, being stung by a stonefish, there is a really good chance of survival if you are seeking immediate medical attention, since there is an antivenom. Now, to learn more about our stonefish, you could always check out the Australian Institute of Marine Science. I personally love to follow along with the Sunshine Coast Council. They have great resources and great information, especially on our stonefish. A YouTube channel and an Instagram page that I quite like is Miller Wilson. He makes great content on our wildlife, and there are a few videos he has created on YouTube on our stonefish. He discusses how important they are, he discusses how cool they are, and of course he also discusses other wildlife as well. But that is a great channel, so I recommend checking that out. I have had the privilege of seeing and interacting with stonefish in the wild, which I am extremely grateful for. They truly are so remarkable, so fascinating, and very memorable. The stonefish is definitely an animal that once I've encountered, I love to talk about, and I always seem to either bring it up in conversation or I'm just remembering it. They truly are a magnificent creature. Please remember to always stay alert, to stay safe when exploring our oceans and our coral reefs, but first and foremost, always have fun. Thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end of this episode. I truly, truly appreciate it. And I had so much fun creating this episode. I adore stonefish. I think they are so fascinating. And I hope you guys are now also fascinated and hopefully learned a few things about our stonefish that you maybe didn't know. Thank you so much. And I hope to be seeing you this time next week. Bye for now.